We're just recording.
You are just recording.
We are recording.
Yeah.
Dave got a haircut.
I did. This is the big news of the week, accordions. Welcome to the show. This is welcome to the Nerd Accord. Myself, Dave, Wayne. We are, of course, recording from the official sound editing studio of the Nerd Accord.
Yeah.
The kitchen of my brother and mom's house. If you hear any TV noises, mom's bedroom is literally right behind us, and she's got the TV on, so that's fun.
She sleeps with the TV on, and actually, like, the sound levels are to the point where they can actually start nuclear fusion.
Yeah, it's hard of hearing.
Fission,
so,
yeah. Oh man,
I'm gonna do Shame. Just every so often, I'm just gonna.
Is that Shame?
Shame from Walking Dead.
Oh, Shame.
Every so often, I'm just gonna rub my
awesome.
head. No, I'm not gonna do that.
You said shame, like I'm missing some societal thing. Like this means shame. Shame on you.
Yes, that's exactly what that means. I think we should dedicate this episode.
Yeah, we recently had their family. Recently had a loss in the family.
Yeah. Our hearts go out to the Daniels Williams family.
Absolutely.
A tragic accident happened last night, and our dear friend has passed. And I'm not going to give names or anything out for privacy sake. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But
we love you.
Yeah, we do love you guys. The Nerd Nation stands with you. And we love you. And if I say anymore, I'm going to start crying like I was doing pretty much all day. So, moving on.
So, dedication.
Dedication. Let's start with Pokemon Go.
We're both a little bit disappointed.
We are disappointed. I've done I got level 14. I grinded like a motherfucker. I grinded. There were nights when Wayne and I were like driving around town hunting Pokemon.
Yeah, Valley River Center parking lot.
Valley River Center parking lot was actually a good one. That was fun, actually.
Yeah.
We after
there was some times where it was just stressful.
Yeah, right. It was
just people do this for fun.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, myth busted. Hit level 14. There is no
Team Rocket.
No Team Rocket. Another thing. Well, and on top of that, I said I was going to go till like level 16 to see if maybe it was a little bit further.
Right.
I have a friend at work who is level. Last time I talked to her, which was a couple of weeks ago, actually, was level 21, and had not
been offered the Team Rocket.
No team, no gym. She levels up in Eugene. There's an area called Bermuda, which is just bars everywhere.
I didn't know it had a name as such.
Yeah, it's called the Bermuda Triangle.
How many people get lost?
I've
been lost there. I wasn't even drinking.
You get lost downtown.
I get lost in Eugene like you wouldn't believe. It's like all these one-way streets.
But there's Pokestops everywhere. So basically,
if you make a wrong turn, you got to go 3 blocks up.
Yeah.
And come back.
Then
the Pikachu's gone.
She walks it.
Oh.
So she'll walk this circuit, hit every Pokestop in the area, and then by the time she gets back, it's good to go
refreshed.
Again. Right. And
everybody can walk their drinks off that plays the game there.
Right. And there's like people put lures all over the place there. So myth busted. I mean, we probably could have looked it up, honestly. Probably someone else has already busted it. But
why do that? If you see, the thing is, we kind of both we heard about the myth.
Right.
We both were like, we got to figure it out, and not just read about it. It's, if you can figure out something on your own, why not?
Yeah.
I can't figure out the nuclear weight of particles, but we can bust a Pokemon myth.
And we can bust a Pokemon myth. Yeah. So I haven't tried combating in gyms yet, and I honestly, the game didn't
Last
really
time I
open my
did,
interest.
it really wasn't that great because that guy was much bigger than me.
He was,
And I was like, yo, man, that's my rep machine, whatever the workout is.
I remember that.
And
You,
the workout machine.
One thing you got to know is Wayne isn't naturally bald. All of that hair came out when the dude just grabbed him by the head. 'Cause he had hair as long as I did.
It's weird because
And
he ripped horns.
He did. He just grabbed him by the head, put his hand on his shoulder, and just yanked. And this is what happened.
And then, oddly enough, he slipped his phone number in my pocket as I was crying.
Right. That was weird.
Yeah.
How
you doing, Keith?
How you doing?
Oh, Keith. Hey, I put the computer on top of the cards.
We were playing cards earlier, and
Ace of clubs. Ace of clubs.
So anyway, that happened.
Yeah,
Good job.
Anything else about the? We were talking about it. I told Dave, hey, maybe you should just uninstall it during this recording since you installed it.
Yeah,
but he hasn't done any gym fights, so
yeah, I want to see if the gym fights are fun.
Yeah.
If the gym fights are fun, I might just keep it and be like, hey, I'm just gonna fight gyms from now on.
Yeah, I might actually throw in a hefty memory card on this. A hefty.
You did buy a new phone recently.
I did buy a new phone recently.
Nice.
But it doesn't have very much memory. It comes with 4 gigs. I'm thinking about throwing in it goes up to a 64 gigs.
I think I have 6 gigs, and my memory was pretty full before I had to delete some stuff so I could download that. I downloaded a zombie clicker game.
It's fun.
Days.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's pretty fun so far.
We game a lot on our phones and laptop quick games. That's about all we do anymore. Anyway,
well, lately I have some console gaming that I do, but anyway, that's not the point.
Yeah, we weren't even talking about games other than Pokemon today.
Right.
But now we're going all off course.
So let's get back
100 Days is fun.
100 Days is
Dave
fun.
recommends. And now we are on.
I mean, I wouldn't throw that up as Dave recommends.
All right, Wayne recommended to Dave.
But since you mentioned it,
yeah.
Let's talk about BoJack.
BoJack Horseman.
I've
only seen one episode. It's
but
good.
You liked it.
It's really good.
It's hilarious.
Will Arnett is really funny, no matter what.
Will Arnett's in it. Alison Brie is in it. She does the voice of Dana. Dana Gwynn.
I'm still not all on the names.
Wynn. She's the one.
Yeah.
Wynn. She's the one that's the Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
That you made. Weird Al does this voice in season 3. It's Mr. Peanut Butter's brother. Yeah.
Weird Al also does the voice of Darkseid on Teen Titans Go, and it's actually really hilarious.
One of the few good things about that show.
Yeah, and it's really funny because Darkseid, when Darkseid has like this throat problem going on, and Starfire gives him a lozenge, and then he's all happy and he doesn't sound like all raspy and scary, and they're all like, "Hey, you sound like Weird Al Yankovic," and he gets all mad. He's like, if only I was as evil as him. But anyway.
So, yeah.
BoJack Horseman.
BoJack Horseman's a really good show. Season 3 came up on Netflix, I think it was last month. And I binged out of it. There's one episode in Season 3, almost entirely no dialogue. All told by, the storytelling is all told by what you see.
That's great.
Because he goes to the Pan Pacific Film Festival, which is under the Pacific Ocean, and he has to wear this bell jar on his head to breathe. I think like walking
Pacific Railroad.
No, Pan Pacific Ocean. The Pan Pacific Oceanic Film Festival is what it's
Oceanic
called.
Film Festival. Yes. Where did I get railroad?
Because I didn't say film festival. I don't know.
I have no idea.
But the point is, it was great. The story was just amazing. It was so well done, and there's like I think BoJack has a grand total of like 4 lines, and one of them is fuck.
I think Netflix really got their hands on some excellent writers.
Yeah,
because everything that they've put out as far as the Netflix original series has been amazing.
I mean, there's been a few duds. I couldn't stand Orange is the New Black.
I haven't tried watching
I got
it.
through half of the first season and I had to stop. I've heard that unless you like totally binge the whole thing in one weekend, it actually isn't good.
It isn't good.
Isn't, and I'm going to agree with
it's
that.
Made for binging.
Yeah, it's totally made for binging, because if I had sat and watched through the whole thing in one shot, maybe I could have enjoyed it. But by halfway through the first season, I was just done. I was done. Like, the main character is so unlikable. None of the characters are. Laverne Cox. Laverne Cox.
And Janeway.
Laverne Cox.
Janeway.
Laverne Cox actually is the only character in that I actually gave a shit about, and not enough to run a series for me. So anyway, speaking of series, let's talk about.
We got something new coming out that we haven't talked about in Star Trek Discovery.
Star Trek Discovery. They finally announced where the series is in the pantheon or the continuity. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Continuity of Star Trek, and it's going to take place.
Discontinuity.
Well, sometimes take place 10 years before Kirk in the
original
classic
series.
Original. Right, 10 years before Kirk in the original series.
Yeah.
In the classic non-Abrams universe. Which is great, because that's what I wanted. That's exactly what I wanted.
That's what I wanted, but I wanted something beyond Voyager. Like I want after Voyager.
I mean, there's so much before that they haven't,
but
it's done.
To me, what is so hard for me to get into it is the fact that we've already seen all this, technology that's from that era, like bouncing around that era. We got Star Trek Enterprise, we got Star Trek the original series. As far as new things, new spectacles.
But Enterprise is going to take, this series is going to take place far after Enterprise.
After Enterprise, yes, but
like a generation before.
Yeah, but it's why do we keep making it about their past when we're moving into the future?
Why not? That's a like between Enterprise and Kirk, there's just this huge gap of history that we don't know anything about.
Well, between Kirk and Picard, there's a huge gap in history. Not as much.
It would have been great if it had been there as well. Like, I would have totally been fine with that if it had been bridged that gap. I don't think it needs to further go into the future.
I guess, part of my bias is the fact that my girlfriend Wendy and I have just about finished Voyager. Yeah. And I've watched the series probably about 5 or 6 times. It's my second favorite Star Trek series. And I'm going to watch Star Trek Renegades now. Have you seen Star Trek Renegades?
I haven't seen Renegades yet.
Well, anyway, so I think that I'm biased about it.
Sure.
But I'm really looking forward to seeing, what they deal with as far as who the dynamics of it all. Who's going to be the captain?
We're probably going to be fairly at war with the Klingons at this point, because I know that was a thing before, like the fragile peace alliance between the Klingons and the Federation didn't actually happen until.
Well, during the original series, they weren't friendly.
No, but it happened shortly before the original series started. Like, one of the big treaties that established the peace happens during the first season
of Star Trek: The Original Series.
Star Trek: The Original Series, yeah.
Oh,
I forget what episode that is.
I've never actually watched too much of the original series.
I've seen
I've seen probably 10 or 12 episodes, like from start to finish.
That hurts my soul.
Well, I mean, there's only like 40, so I've seen like a quarter of it.
Something like that.
Unfortunately, only three seasons.
3 seasons, yeah. So what we do know about it is it's directed by or created by Brian Fuller. It does have writers from the classic Trek series. We do know that. We also know that and this is what bothers me about this is the first episode is going to be on CBS.
Yeah.
And then every other episode after that will be aired online on CBS
All Access.
All Access. And it's going to cost you like $8 a month for CBS All Access. It is going to be shown on Netflix in every country but US and Canada. So, like,
Switzerland is looking good, yeah.
Well, I mean, I know there's actual ways of
masking
your IP address so that it looks like it's coming from like the UK. So.
Well, I'm just talking about straight up moving there. I mean, this country's already in the toilet, and now Netflix isn't going to give me my Star Trek. I'm leaving.
I mean, we do need an exit strategy. In case
we need an exit strategy. The Trumpocalypse is near.
The Trumpocalypse is coming. But yeah, like I said, that's really all we know about it so far.
Oh, God.
And we don't have. We also know that the main character isn't going to be the captain. That's something that's actually.
I've actually always wanted something told from other eyes throughout the ship.
Well, it's supposed to also take an American Horror Story style feel. Like each season is going to be a different ship, different crew. And my thinking is what they could do, and what I'm kind of hoping they do is they follow one character. Like they're an ensign on board this frigate, and now they are like
what the books have done.
Yeah, and
because I mean, there's Star Trek books that follow a particular character through, and there's actually books that follow Picard from the Academy to captainhood, to the Stargazer. So I mean,
so that's what cool. I kind of like to see
is
that, and then as each season, as the character progresses through rank, like maybe they either deal with different characters on the same ship, because now they're a different rank and now they have to interact with people they never interacted with before, or they, for one reason or another, get transferred to another ship. Maybe they get promoted, they move to another ship, and something happens, they get demoted and move to a different ship. Like, that would be cool, too.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
They get really demoted and they're scrubbing plasma conduits.
I just hope they don't fall into the same old trap that Star Trek has a tendency to do. It's after a couple of seasons, they run out of new ideas and just start rehashing old Next Gen episodes.
Well,
Voyager did it.
Next
DS9
Gen is the best.
Next Gen did it.
Next Gen rehashed their own episodes.
I mean, yeah, the last season was just we're out of ideas. So remember when we did this episode? Yeah, we're going to do that again. There were several episodes in the last season that I'm watching it.
Ends.
I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, this feels really familiar to me. Like, is this a new episode? Check. Yeah, it's definitely a new episode. And I'm like, okay, so this is going to happen next. It happens. Okay, now this is going to happen next. It happens. Like, it just became super predictable because they ran out of ideas.
Psychic, Dave.
And I'm
it's
psychic.
Not because...
No, it's true.
No, it's because the next generation...
I knew you were going to say that,
too. It's because the next generation is so good that it just makes you think you've seen it before.
Or they ran out of ideas and just kept rehashing old ideas. That's what happened.
I really want to know how stupid I looked when I just said that and then looked at the camera and smiled.
So we also saw Star Trek Beyond.
We saw Star Trek Beyond.
Actually, I've seen it twice now. Here's my.
I have not. I've seen it again in my head. I watched it.
Here's my spoiler-free review. My spoiler-free review is this movie is the best Star Trek movie since First Contact. Now I'm ready to go into spoilers.
Well,
what's your spoiler-free review?
My spoiler-free review. Do we have to do a spoiler-free review?
We don't have to. We can just leave.
My spoiler-free spoiler-free review is damn. That was good.
That was good. That was a good movie. Okay. I took a friend of mine to go see it afterwards, and he is a hardcore Trekkie. This guy owns a classic Trek Starfleet uniform. He owns Spock ears. He has photos of him in full costume with Leonard Nimoy. Wow. And it's actually on his hearth above his fireplace.
Yeah, well, as it should be. Either that or in a safe.
Next to his picture of him with Michelle Obama, which was interesting. Like, dude, I didn't know you met Michelle Obama. He's like, yeah, she's actually rather nice. Like, cool. That was the whole of that conversation.
Way to be cooler than I will ever be.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I didn't know that you knew the most interesting man in the world.
Ray, you are the most interesting man in the world, and I love you, Ray Spears.
Oh Lord,
our bromance is strong. So anyway,
strong with the force, your bromance is.
He's a hardcore Trekkie, and he hated the first two Abrams movies.
See why?
Well, the first one had some plot holes in it, and I get why they were there. But it was a fine movie, but it didn't really totally feel like a Star Trek movie. Mm-hmm. It was fine. I enjoyed every second of it, but it kind of didn't feel like a Star Trek movie. 2 hurt my soul.
You hurt my soul.
It was entertaining. I had a good time, but it wasn't a Star Trek movie at all. It was a space movie, but it wasn't a Star Trek movie. It had, they completely butchered Khan.
Khan Noonien Singh.
Butchered Khan. Like, that is the worst. I mean, and you had Benedict Cumberbatch, motherfuckers. You had Benedict freaking Cumberbatch, and you ruined the character?
Well, I mean...
What?
I don't know. I guess I need to rewatch, what is it called? Botany Bay? Or
Into Darkness, I think it was.
No. The original episode with Khan. It's like the second or third episode of the series altogether.
No, it's not.
Totally.
I actually started the series again.
Yeah, I know. I was flipping through it and I started actually watching that episode, and it was like the third episode of the series.
It's not, because the second episode is Charlie X. The third episode was the guy who gets the psychic powers, which everybody thought that they were doing for the second Star Trek, which would have been amazing since that was the second episode. Second episode, then Charlie X was the third episode. Then I can't remember what was next. But
oh well.
Anyway, but the point is,
I need to rewatch it to see why Dave's so mad about Khan. I thought it was great.
I thought it was a terrible Khan. I also thought it was just a shitty movie.
Well, I mean, he didn't brainworm Sulu, sure, but
they went like they spent the entire. I'm skipping over that. They spent the entire run up to this film going, it's not Wrath of Khan. It's not Wrath of Khan.
Of course.
It's not Wrath of Khan.
It's J.J. Abrams.
It's not Wrath of Khan.
That's his MO.
It isn't Wrath of Khan. No. I mean, you're asking me if it's Wrath of Khan, but it's not Wrath of Khan. And then they went, surprise, it's Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, it was great. It was brilliant.
No, it wasn't great, was it?
Brilliant.
It wasn't.
It was like having teenage mutants that are also Ninja Turtles. I mean, how smart do you have to be?
It was awful.
Star Trek Beyond was
great. But Beyond was great. Okay, so Beyond was written by Simon Pegg. First off.
And Simon Pegg is a huge Star Trek fan. We all know that.
Huge Star Trek fan.
And one of the most gifted writers in Hollywood, and I wish more people would recognize it.
I agree.
Comedy, drama, whatever.
He spent a lot of time beforehand, because the preview, for a lot of people were thrown off by the preview. Like, that doesn't look like it's going to be good at all. That looks like it's going to be crap. And he's like, guys, no, listen, seriously. It's going to be good.
The Star Trek movie.
I wrote this. It's going to be good. And it was. It was phenomenal. And even Ray was like, this feels like a Star Trek movie again.
Yeah.
This is what Star Trek really is. So it starts with Kirk. We're not going to every second of the film, but like we do sometimes.
We do sometimes.
Batman versus Superman is coming And
that's a long edit for a long.
It's a long edit for a very long review. We bitched. We were very angry.
Yeah, we basically we just snidely talked about the whole movie, like
The
scene
whole
for
thing.
scene.
Scene for scene.
Like,
Like,
this stupid
I hated
fucking
this
thing happened.
This happened, and then I hated that.
And then Grandma's
very
peach
next
piss.
Right.
Grandma's peach piss. Then it blows up.
Grandma's peach tea. It was. It hurts my head just thinking about it.
Yeah. So, but Star Trek Beyond doesn't. So
Star Trek Beyond doesn't.
What I think is great is that a lot, huh?
Just did a Shane.
A Shane. Shane. You are Shane.
I don't know why that's funny to me. All throughout his John Bernathal's run as the Punisher, in Daredevil season 2, which is brilliant if you haven't watched it.
Dave recommends.
I mean, I do. I just wanted him one time to just, and he never did. But I was okay with that because it was a great series.
But I really liked how Star Trek Beyond connected so much to so many different things throughout Star Trek lore. You have a reference to the giant green space hand.
You do.
From Who Mourns Apollo for Adonis.
Or Adonis, that's right.
And then you've got the Xindi War, which takes place in Star Trek Enterprise.
Sure.
You've got connections to Voyager through a character named Commodore Paris,
right? Which everybody thinks is
quite possibly Tom Paris's ancestor.
They did the Tholian web. There was a reference to the Tholian web at one point.
Yeah, I mean, there's
and a lot of this was. I mean, a lot of this was in the after credits. Like,
well, no, the giant green space hand was talked about. That's how the USS Discovery made it to the planet. Was the giant green space hand pushed it there?
Okay.
And Spock talks about it in the movie.
Okay. Anyway, so
thank you IMDb for reminding me.
I forgot about that, but that's cool. We do have reference material. Here. So
the interwebs are powerful.
Right. It starts off with Kirk talking about how he's kind of done being a captain. They've been out there for 2.5 years. It's like every day just kind of runs together, and it's nothing new, and it's just the same old doldrums day in and day out. And then he goes to do this peace talks with these roly-poly aliens.
Yeah.
Which show up again at the very end, and like, hey, how's it going? I see you're still not wearing pants. I forget the roly-poly aliens' names.
But they have a very big Napoleon complex.
Oh my god!
And
so big.
They put themselves way high up and use forced perspective to make you think that they're huge.
And then they like everything.
30 of them equals one Kirk.
Right. Everything is like obviously this gift is a symbol of like war and not peace. Like obviously they're trying to trick us. Why don't they want it? It must be broken. Like Kirk is giving this piece of an ancient weapon to them from their aliens that they're
enemy.
Right, the aliens that they're at war with currently, and it's a gift of peace, and they're like, well, why don't they want it anymore? So what's wrong with it? Like,
they do weird sniffing.
They do weird sniffing. It's so good.
Yeah. Kind of sounded like Donald Trump at the debate.
I mean, I skipped the debate for many good reasons.
Sniffing and posturing.
It was great. So that was funny. And then they roll down because they're roly-poly aliens.
Yeah, roly-poly
aliens. And they jump at him and they attack him, and he's like, "Get me out of here!" And they're like, "It's a lot of interference, Captain."
Yeah, and they like beam up 2 that are still like attacking him on the Enterprise while he's trying to walk away.
Right.
But But
it turns out this gear is important.
Gear is very important.
Right.
Don't remember exactly why.
Because it was part of the ancient weapon that Krull was.
That Krull wanted. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
You were about to say something. I interrupted you.
It's probably stupid. I don't know.
Fair enough. Okay, so you know what I was thinking earlier while we were playing Magic?
What's that?
We should have just recorded that.
We should just record. We could. I mean,
we
could record a Magic game. The Nerd Accord plays Magic.
Anyway,
just like set up the computer over there so it kind of sees us.
Right. Never mind.
But then it would just basically be like you cussing at me.
I'm terrible at Magic, and Wayne is
terrible.
I'm terrible at it. I'm no good at the game, and I got land screwed so bad. And
see, that doesn't determine a bad player.
I'm still bad at the game. I just don't. I'm not good at it. I lose most of the time. I enjoy it. I have a ton of fun. I lose like 90% of the time.
Oh, it's just a different kind of strategy.
Sure.
I mean,
I don't really care though. I like playing. I have fun.
Yeah.
That's all that really matters to me. And he'll be like, boom, 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 700,000 damage to you, and I'm like, fuck you. You're a face-hole.
That's pretty much how it goes. And then
and now, and by the way, doing that, I now have 700,000 life because I played these 2 cards and then I did a spell and you lost 1 billion life and I gained 1 billion life.
That's my elf deck.
Hate your elf deck.
Yeah, I know.
It's awful. Anyway, that has nothing to do with Star Trek. We're gonna have to cut this part out.
Nah,
we're not gonna cut this part out.
Nah. I just don't know where to go with reviewing without just talking about the whole movie.
Well, so the main plots of it is that
we have 5 minutes before shield stop.
We do. We've got to do a shield stop. Actually, yes. Why don't we go ahead and do that now?
We're gonna do a shield pause.
Right. We're going to pause to watch Agents of Shield, and then we're gonna come back. And like maybe I'll be in a different shirt.
Wait, does this have a pause?
You just stop it.
I'm just gonna have to stop it, and then I'll
stop it, and there's going to be like a jump cut.
Yeah.
Where it stops and then it just keeps going again.
Yeah.
And so anytime you want to just stop it, just do it and just make the. Then Jayla jumps in and beats the crap out of those other aliens.
Right.
Right. And then. Scotty is like,
Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Don't tell Scotty.
Thank you, Matt Damon. No, Scotty was like, hi. He introduces to Jayla, who was really one of the best characters of the show.
Absolutely. Really, you didn't really need much character development with her because she was just like this complete package when we got her.
Right, I think so.
And so it was great.
Yeah.
She was the best new character from Star Trek, like the best new character added to Star Trek in a long time.
Yeah, I agree. And it'll be nice to see if we can see her as a recurring character maybe.
Yeah, they alluded to her joining Starfleet.
They did.
So I would really like to see her as an ensign in Star Trek 4.
Right, that would be nice.
J.J. Abrams is coming back for that one, apparently.
Is he?
Yeah.
I almost don't want him to do it, honestly. Yeah, no, seriously.
Well, bring back the mic.
Bring the mic back.
What do you mean bring back? We didn't do anything.
That's right. It was always there. You saw
magic.
It. If you didn't see it, it's because
you're wrong.
You're wrong. So yeah, I almost don't want him to come back because like this was better than the first 2, and I almost feel like he should step back.
You should go stay in the fucking off corner.
Like just stay as executive producer and just leave it at that. But whatever. I mean, if he does come back, it's fine. I like J.J. Abrams as a director usually, so it's fine.
Right. Great movie, start to finish, fantastic. Was there anything that you didn't like about it?
I would have liked a little more explanation as to why the main villain didn't look why he was an alien.
Oh, so I could give that to you.
Well, but I would have liked it in the movie. What was his name?
You did kind of have to.
You had to
assume.
Right. What was his name against?
The real actor?
No. The character.
Krall.
So Krall is the main villain.
Mm-hmm.
Krall is looking for the gear to finish a ancient weapon that basically like dissolved.
Oh wait,
your
was
flesh.
it a Zindi weapon?
I don't think it was Zindi.
No, he fought in the Zindi Wars.
He
though.
did fight
so
the
that
Zindi
means that he
Wars.
was actually on the NX Enterprise, because the only Starfleet personnel that fought in the Zindi Wars was
Well,
that
he
one
wasn't a
ship.
Starfleet personnel. He wasn't Starfleet.
No. They
after
weren't
the war.
Starfleet. It was
The Starfleet didn't happen until after the war. He said.
No, the Federation.
Federation. That's right.
Happen.
You're
he
right.
was a part of
Starfleet
Starfleet.
was okay.
So, and the only Starfleet military personnel were sent into the Zindi War on the Enterprise. It was the only vessel that was involved.
Right, but
the bad guy had to be on the Enterprise.
Right. So, well, sure, but he was a soldier. He could have been part of any other ship. Like it depends on where the wars actually.
No. It was the only ship. The Enterprise is the only ship that fought in the Zindi War.
Huh. Anyway,
Star Trek Enterprise is great.
So, yeah, I mean, first 2 seasons is great. Anyway, but we've discussed that before, and we'll discuss that some other time. So we talked about Jayla. We talked about I forgot his name again.
Krull.
Krull was a human that used some life extending technology to turn himself alien.
Well, he sucked the genetic qualities out and made himself strong.
Right, and every time he sucked out the genetic qualities of another race,
he kind of took on a little bit of their.
Yeah, his look changed, and it was subtle, but I noticed it more the second time I saw it. That his look changed every so often. So now that he was sucking up human, he was able to change back to human.
Yeah.
So
that was weird.
Yeah, he was draining the life essence of people, and he was
Mothra.
He was able to. There was a moth that just flew by.
It was clearly Mothra. It was enormous.
It was Mothra.
It was enormous. They probably couldn't even see us.
No, I wouldn't have.
It covered the entire webcam.
Yeah, no, it was terrifying.
Mothra.
I was terrified.
I wet his pants.
Which was weird.
I mean, how did it...
Like...
I don't know.
Like, I don't even...
So Krull.
So then he's human again at the end.
Yeah.
It's like,
and he is human for the fight because...
Right.
We all know that Kirk really... I mean, the Kirk that they've given us in this couldn't really fight an enormous superpowered space alien.
Yeah, fair. Oh, fair. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I don't know that I really have any critiques about it.
The space station was cool. They used.
I mean, everything was cool. Everything was great. I don't have any critiques, you know.
Yeah. Even the we talked about Sulu being gay in the previous episode. I mean, they did that fine.
Yeah, I didn't. I as far as seeing it on the movie, there no problem with it. But
yeah,
no, we talked about our own personal beliefs on what he did.
They should have created a new character, but you know, it is what it is, and it was fine. It didn't. I didn't have an issue.
One of my favorite parts is the fact that the Beastie Boys saved the galaxy.
The tributes.
Yeah.
Talk about that. Leonard Nimoy and Anton
Yelchin, unfortunately. Both passed
Leonard
away.
Nimoy passed away before the movie was written.
Well, no, it was written before it was filmed.
It was before it was filmed.
Yeah.
So it was written into the whole thing, his death.
Yeah.
I think they did it really well. They had Spock actually got Elder Spock's personal effects.
And that was a severely emotional scene for our young non-Culinard Spock.
Right. So
Culinar is where they purge all emotions.
Right.
It's a long journey through the desert and like self-awareness and all this stuff, but whatever.
So there was a really, really touching scene where he got that, and he's actually going through he sees Spock's things, and he finds a photograph of the classic characters. It was
original series circa what movie 5 or 6.
Six.
Is what it looked like.
It looked like it was
6.
Yeah, it looked like it was Undiscovered Country.
Those uniforms where they all look like admirals.
Right.
And it's a great picture.
Yeah, no, it is. Then at the very end of the movie, there's and this really isn't a spoiler. Like, doesn't really matter.
And even if it was,
I would in spoiler territory.
Well, that night I would spoil this from the rooftops because
there was a scene where they were drinking, celebrating their victory, and Kirk just raises a glass and says to absent friends, and it flashes to the rest of the crowd, and Anton isn't there, and then it flashes back, and he shows back up a little later because the character still has bits, but
that scene was filmed obviously at the end,
fact,
and it sucks. Anton Yelchin was a great actor,
and he died too soon, but
and he played a perfect Chekhov.
Yeah, I'll agree. Yeah. So, all in all, I give it 5 phasers up.
5 phasers up.
5 phasers up.
Getting rough.
Give it code 5. Code red.
Code red.
Go to red alert.
Code red. Shields up.
I give it red alert.
Red alert. Shields up.
Red alert. Shields up. That's.
Yeah, my bad.
It's late.
We're taking phaser fire.
Oh, stop.
Holy shit.
That was weird.
Why was that weird? It was cool. Did you see your head elongated?
Yes, I saw that. That's what.
Spaghettification. Anyway, so I'm sorry. Yeah, it is getting late. I do believe so. So, Bones and Spock, still a better love story than Twilight.
Absolutely. And on that note, good night. And hey, we will be recording this Friday, which this one may come up before that.
Strippers of beef.
We're going to be recording this Friday with Chris and Kim. Again, nice. We're going to be back with them. Schedules just never...
The accord together again.
Well, see... I mean, I had a schedule change at my job, which made it so that we couldn't record on the nights we normally recorded on. And then we were trying to mesh schedules again, and it just took time. We finally got to the point where we were able to get our schedules meshed up a little bit better so that we can get back together and start recording it again together. I've said together like 7 times now, together. Want to say it with me? Let's say together.
On 3.
1, 2, 3.